Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. I'm back with video number 59. Today is Friday, December 6th, 2024. I hope to get this video up early this morning so I can get on to some stitching stuff. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer and subscriber, thank you for coming back. I appreciate your support. I very much appreciate comments and the back and forth that we get going in comments and your wonderful suggestions to me. I love and appreciate that so much. And if this is your first time here, you're very welcome. I hope you see something that you enjoy and that you will like and subscribe and become part of my virtual stitching family. Thank you. I want to thank several of you. After last video, I had talked about the color of thread for Frosty's boots and hat on that project, and several of you offered wonderful suggestions of colors. Thank you so much, and I'll talk about that when I get to that in my whips. Again, so generous to share. Now I have a surprise at the end, so I hope you can plan to stick around to the end of the video. And let's start here with the Book of Days. What have I done in the last 2 weeks? This 2 weeks spans part of November. Sorry, lick my finger. I had it. Part of November and part of December. So here we are finishing up November. You'll see a lot of that light purple color. That was Festive Forest. And I did have 2 days, you can see the sad faces, 2 days of no stitching. One was Thanksgiving and the other was a day that we went out and did some errands. And that took that day. And here's my start on December. I've stitched every day in December so far. So that's my Book of Days. And what else have I done in this 2 weeks? Well, I've had several Zoom meetings. I've had Zoom stitch-ups with Central Kentucky Stitchers and with Queen City Sampler Guild. Always so nice to get together, even if it's only on Zoom, but it's, of course, in person is much more fun. I did some in-person shopping at Joann's, which was somewhat successful, and I'll talk about that in haul. I got a new phone, yay, but there's a learning curve. You may have gotten to know me a little bit in watching my videos. I'm a bit of a tech phobe. I have a love-hate relationship with it, and once I know how something works, I don't want it to change. Don't upgrade, don't change. I like it just the way it is. But I did agree to get a new phone at this time before my other one was absolutely worth zero for trade-in, because I always keep things so they're so old nobody else wants them. Anyway, I did trade in my phone, and the reason I agreed to do it is because this phone has a pause button on the video. So no longer will you have to wait for me to get up, disconnect the camera, walk around, move the table, and then show you the quilt on the back wall. So we'll see how I can make that work. Okay, I had an FFO in this 2 weeks, but I can't show you. It is secret stitching for Central Kentucky Stitchers. We're having a Secret Santa exchange next week. So my stitching is completed, it's done, I'm happy it's done. I was getting a little nervous about time getting short as Festive Forest was taking so much time, but I got it done, it's ready to go. Can't show you, sorry, don't mean to tease, but I did have an FFO and I wanted to tell you I had an FFO. And I have an FO, Festive Forest, I got done. I posted on Instagram, so you may have seen that picture on Instagram. And then in the meantime, Janine McGowan from the Blue Flower sent some finishing instructions that we can do to be ready for the ball. Of course, she emphasized, and everyone has, you have 30 days after your class to watch the video and review it and do it. So you don't have to be finished with everything before the class. But I wanted to, kind of the professional student thing. Okay, so I finished the stitching. Oops, there's that. I don't know if he's a reindeer or a stag or whatever. These animals are so darling. And I completed the trimming of the fabric and sewing, joining the ends and sewing it into the shape. And I've finger pressed the bottom edge so it's ready to attach the bottom. And the bottom is a hexagon shape. And I don't know what this shape is called when it gets finished. Right now it looks like a crown. Put it on, but I don't know what it's called, but it's interesting. So I have my hexagon done, and I'm doing my bottom in the same fabric that I stitched on, and I put my initials and year on it, so that'll be on the bottom of the piece. And then I've been debating what I would do. You know, the stitchers who have the kit, of course, are finishing the bottom with a dark green velvet, so that matches that dark green stitching at the bottom. And they are to back stitch along there, so their, you know, stitching goes into the back stitches. And I had been thinking, how am I going to do that? Because I will have this color thread to match my fabric. And I think I need to do back stitching in this color so that when I attach the hexagon on the bottom, my stitches won't show in the green. So I'm going to do that this afternoon. I could have had that done, but I was hem-hawing and hem-hawing. What should I do? Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? So decision made, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be in the class on Saturday, 10 to noon, noon to 2, anyway, on the Saturday class. She's repeating it also on Sunday. And if you're going to be at the stitching, at the Jingle Ball, let me know. I'd like to meet up in a chat room sometime. I don't know how to go to a designated chat room and know you're going to meet somebody. The first year I missed the ball because when the sign-up time was available, I wasn't sure where I would be or what I'd be doing, so I didn't sign up. And then heard all the wonderful things about it and was really sorry that I'd missed out, not understanding that there, you know, video would be available 30 days after and so forth. So the second year I participated and I took 3 classes and did the free classes. I didn't do any chat rooms. I don't get it. I don't know how that works. So how you would know where to go to chat with your people you want to chat with. So anyway, this is going to be my first year of just one class and lots of time to do something else. So let me know what you're going to do, where you're going to be. I'll meet up. Okay, that's Jingle Ball. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. That's tonight. Tonight. So if you're seeing this later, it's probably over, so. Sorry. It's cold down here. I even have my little heater on and I'm cold. Makes my nose run. Okay, the whips I worked on. First one, well, not first one. I worked on Anna Ohman. She is my current red sampler. I always stitch 3 days a month on a red sampler, and this is Anna Ohman by Lila Studio. I'm stitching Anna Ohman on 40 count champagne linen from Wichelt, and my thread is Classic Colorworks used brick. Now I told you last time I have a mistake, at least one mistake, and I think there's more than one. Now which way am I looking? Okay, when I came over this way, I put too many stitches here, and that made this whole side over a stitch farther than it should have been. And then, other corner. This corner, it's not right. It's not placed right. It's the spacing. It should be over at least 1, maybe 2. I haven't counted it because I'm not taking it out. I'm living with it, whatever it is. So when I came up here to do these corner segments, I lined them up with the alphabet on the top because I'm pretty confident that that is correct because it all worked out together with the 3 lines in the alphabet. So, and I have gone on to just start the center with the bird, and I'm going to live with it. And that's the way it's going to be. So this is Anna Ohman, Lila Studio. I wish I had it perfect, but I don't. And you know, my philosophy is kind of fix your mistakes. If you know what you have a mistake, fix it, and I'm just going to live with that one. And that project lives in this project bag. This is Lori Holt fabric from a long time ago. Millie's Closet was the name of the collection, and it's red, so I have my red stuff in it. So that's that. That's a bag I made. Okay, and I had a snow day stitch. Jolly Happy Soul. from Brenda Gervais, and this is 2015 is the year on this pattern. And as I told you before, I won that in a summer camp prize from Sherry, Colorado cross stitcher. Last summer I did the summer camp, and I won a bag. And the project bag had several things in it, nice patterns, and this was kitted up with this beautiful sparkly fabric. I think it's showing a little bit there. You see the sparkle? It's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. So this is the one I referred to at the beginning of the video where when I started, I was going to start the boots, but the color matched the letters, and I wanted a blackish. I did not want to use 310, and several of you suggested different colors to use, and thank you very much. And I decided on DMC 3799, and I think it's a good subtle black, not an in-your-face black. And that's 2 days, 2 snow days. I may get this done before the winter, and I'll be looking for another snow day stitch, but I'm really pleased with it. I like that fabric a lot. I wish I knew what it was. So if you know, let me know. And thank you to that generous person who donated that to Sherry so that she could have a giveaway for summer camp. That was very nice. And I had a new start. I had no business doing a new start, but I had a new start because well, I'll talk about it in haul, sorry. I'm stumbling, I'm sorry. I'm excited about Jingle Ball. Okay, I started Susanna Lawton from Queenstown Sampler Designs. This was introduced at market, I'm thinking it was last spring. And it was my favorite in the whole market, and I got it. I did not hear people talking this one up, and I think it is absolutely lovely. So I started it because I got scroll rods that it would fit on. This project lives in my folder keeper. I used Tiger Lily Designs pattern to make this. She sells the pattern. If you would like to make one of these, you can go to her site and get one. The thing I did differently is I did a 2-page bobbin holder, but this is the double side 2-pocket version. And then I did a separate 2-page bobbin holder because this project has 38 colors. 38 colors. They're all DMC, but still 38. So I made this to go in that. I'll put this away. So that's what project bag this lives in. The pattern lives in, but the project is on scroll rods, so it certainly does not live in there. Is this the way? This is the way. So I had 2 days on this. It's a lot of stitching on it. Now that flower will be a fill-in. I just did the outline of the flower, but interesting colors. Now that's a funny shadow. Interesting colors. And that's my little start on Susanna Lawton, 1841. And I'm going to keep that right there because I'll talk about that when I get to haul. And I'm at haul, okay. Okay, I went to Joann's one day, and for an in-person shopping, which hardly ever happens. I can't remember the last time I've been there. And I was successful in finding a bolt of SF101. That's the interfacing I use on all my stitching projects, and I use it a lot in quilting. So my previous bolt was getting very thin, and I had a 50% off on that, so I got a new bolt. I also got quite a few zippers for project bags. They had buy 3, get 2 free. And I was just guessing at colors. I hope the colors will work out for what I want to do, but it was a good deal on zippers, so I got those. DMC was a wipeout. The display was just decimated. I didn't find any of the things I wanted to find there. And that's all I'm going to say about Joann's. Okay, thread. I got my Floss Frenzy from Fat Quarter Shop. This is the monthly thread club for Weeks Dye Works, and I will put the plastic drops on them like I've shown you before, and then hang them in my hanging system. Scroll rods. Okay, Susanna Lawton is on scroll rods, as you see. My lap stand came with 3 sizes of scroll rods, and the 24-inch is the largest. I have a project on that 24-inch set of rods already, and Susanna Lawton I wanted to do on scroll rods because it's a big project. I didn't want to be moving hoop around and around and around, and I wanted it to be nice and straight and work on it on rods. So that's one of the things I looked for at Joann's. They had no rods at all. So I went to Amazon and purchased a pair of 24-inch scroll rods. And what I got, it's called Handy Clamp, 24-inch scroll rods. And it's from F.A. Edmonds, 24-inch scroll rods. I'll link it below. They're very reasonably priced. Now I thought it was a bit deceiving. The description said it was in 2 24-inch rods, and that's what it was. But the picture included these, are they spacer bars or stretcher bars, whatever, and knobs. So I thought that this would come with this also. It didn't. But from my other lap stand set, I have bars and I have knobs. So maybe it would have been redundant, but I thought they should go together, especially just in case the screws have different, I don't know, thread size or something. I didn't want to strip something out. So this is my new scroll rods. And what I do like about this is that it's called a clamp because it's like a Q-snap. You don't have to baste the fabric on or sew the fabric on or have a split rod that you have to feed the fabric through, and it's a nice strong Q-snap. So that's easy. I like that. And other than my misunderstanding of what was included, happy with it, and it was reasonably priced. So I got a new scroll rod set. So that's a purchase. Yep, that's gonna fall on the floor. Okay, another purchase. I am doing a quilting project for Fat Quarter Shop, and I knew the pattern would be coming in November, and indeed it did. So then I had to choose my fabrics, and so I can get going on it. It's too early to reveal it, so I can't reveal it yet, but I can show you the fabrics and so forth. I purchased the 4-inch square and square foundation paper. Square and square is not my friend. I might get the outside size ultimately right, but to have that point, a 1/4 inch, so that the point is exactly where it's supposed to be, not buried in a seam or not floating, I'm going to use foundation paper for that. So I got those, and I chose my fabrics. I chose French General. This is the main fabric. It's also going to be my binding. Isn't it gorgeous? It's a traditional French General red. Love it, love it, love it. And then this print is my background and sashing, or not sashing, border. It doesn't have sashing, it has border. Nice color. And then I have several prints here, which I think I can show you without making too much of a mess. Stand up and show you here like this. See if I can do it. Okay, there's one of them. There's another. There's another. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the repeat. Okay. Did I make a mess of that? Why, yes, I did. Okay, well, I'll fold that later. Except, did I do it? No, I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. Okay, so that was my purchases, my haul. And plans. Stitching for this month, I will stitch 7 days on my focus piece, and my focus piece is now Ann Borrett from Hands Across the Sea, and that is a project that is full of specialty stitches. I had done a small start on it and came to a dead end. I have 2 reference books that I need to study, and I need to do practice on doodle cloth before I put my silks on the project. So it's going to be a slow process. I expect this focus piece to be a focus piece for a long time, but that's okay. And I'm going to get going on it. Even if some of my days I'm just studying and practicing and not putting any stitches on the project, that's working on the focus piece. So that's what I'll be doing for that. I will spend 3 days stitching on a red sampler, and it's still on a Ohman. She may be done this month. And then I have plans for quilting. I'm going to get the vice versa quilt that's behind me on the long arm, and I should get my backing fabric tomorrow, they promised me. So when that comes, then I can get the batting on and that quilt, and it's a wide backing, so I will have extra room on that backing, and while it's on the machine, I would like to get something extra on there. So I have this little kit I've got to make 2 pillows, Christmas pillows. They're called Candy Dish, designed by Jaybird Designs. In this pillow, the hexagon is the color and print, and the points are white. And in this pillow, the hexagons are white and the points are the colors prints. So I would like to sew those 2 pillow tops and get those on the long arm at the same time I'm quilting vice versa. And it requires a specialty ruler. I have the Hexenmore ruler. This is the same ruler I used when I did Park Bench, which is also by Jaybird Quilts. So I have the specialty ruler, I have the kit. I'm going to sew those pillow tops. That's and I'm going to begin the Fat Quarter Shop quilt project. Now I have a surprise at the end, so do not leave, and I'm going to do my handy dandy pause button. Okay, we're back. So here's just a little reminder of vice versa, what it looks like. There are those 2 wide diagonal strips that set off the pieced blocks. And that is the area I've been I've come up with my plan now for what I'm going to do in those areas. I've had this quilt down, and I've done measuring and started marking out for blocks and so forth. And I would measure, and what? That's not right. So I put it back up, and I think I knew at the time, but I don't know, it took me a while to remember this. There are exposed bias edges on the outside of this quilt. In fact, the only 2 places where it's not a bias is the top tan triangle and the diagonally located bottom tan triangle. Everything else is an exposed bias edge. Now, when I started sewing, I started with garment making, and I know when you have a bias edge, you do stay stitching so it does not stretch. Well, I didn't do stay stitching on this, and I don't know if the quilt designer didn't say to, or if I just wasn't thinking. I was following the directions and did it as it was directed and didn't give it a thought. I don't know, but it is out of square. So when I load it, I'm going to have to do some adjusting and perhaps some trimming at some point, but I'm not going to trim it until I have it quilted, because I don't want to accidentally trim something off. That would be tragic. So I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to show you some of the plans I've made for my quilting. Okay, I'm back. Looking at this tan strip that goes diagonally, it's 14 inches from the block to block. I was going to put straight squares in there so that they would not just be lined up with all the rest of these. They would be at the angle. But mathematically, when you do that across that 14-inch space, it ends up being a 10-inch square, and it does not work out well for dividing it down into smaller. Plus, I ended up with having to do strange things at the end where those 10-inch blocks would have ended up. So I went to the 12. These are all 12-inch pieced, finished. So these are all going to be 12-inch to match. The border that's going to go between everything is this. You've seen me do this before. So string of pearls between, there's 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and then the string of pearls goes, and that's going to be every sashing all the way. And across here, even where the sashing doesn't continue, I'm going to mimic it and continue it. So around each of these blocks, that sashing will be. And I've just come up with some different designs I think are interesting. And I have 4 of them here. I could come up with a few more, but I thought I would just alternate them, repeat them a couple times. This one came directly from Star Surround. You'll recognize that one, where the points look like pea pods. I'm going to do that. I didn't finish drawing all the stuff in because it's the same. And then this one with refrigerator coils in the boxes. And then when we get down to an area like this, it'll be half of one of the designs, like over here. Oh no, I didn't do it. I didn't pin it that way. This is the other design. This is going to be subdivided into 4 smaller blocks and have more of the sashing between. But over here, if it were this block, it would be, this would be at the edge of the quilt. It'll just run off the end. That's my plan. So that's my plan. It'll be, I think it'll be pretty modern looking, no feathers, some curves, but not too fancy, fussy. Now, have I decided what I'm going to quilt inside those piece blocks? Not at all. I'm hoping inspiration will strike as I get going on it, but I have my overall plan, and that's what I was most concerned about. And it's all measured, and I'll make it work, and I will adjust the outsides of the quilt and square it up. Okay, I'm back, and I promised you a surprise, and I do have a surprise. I have 3 things I would like to share with my viewers. So you know the way this works. You don't say free, you don't say prize, you don't say giveaway, you don't use any of those words that the internet trolls are looking for so they can snatch up something for free. I want these to go to my people. And you must be at least 18 years old so that I can legally ask you for your address. And this is how we're going to do it. You're going to put the numeral of what you want. No making up sentences and words and all that stuff. So here we are. Number 1, project bag that I made. And this is using the Blackbird Designs fabric. This is the blue flowered fabric. So if you are interested in receiving a blue project bag made by me, you will put the number 1 in your comment. Doesn't have to be in a sentence or anything, just the numeral, not the spelled out word, the numeral 1. Numeral 2, the mini project folder that I made using Tiger Lily's Designs pattern for the mini. This is fall Halloween themed fabrics, and this handy little thing is cute as can be. If you are interested in the mini project holder, put the numeral 2 in your comment. And number 3, this is the last of my fabric of Teresa Kogut, and I made a little zippered pouch. Can hold lots of your little stitchy goodies. And like I say, it's the Teresa Kogut fabric, and I have no more of it. So if you're interested in the zipper pouch, put the numeral 3. And remember, you must like the video, and please be a subscriber. And I will be drawing that on 2 weeks from today. Is it the 20th? I think, Friday the 20th. 2 weeks from December 6th. You look at your calendar, because I put my calendar away. So you must get it in like by early that morning, because I will do the random comment picker that morning, and I want you to be included in the pick. So well, have a happy 2 weeks of stitching Flosstube. It was great being with you. I hope to see you at the Jingle Ball. See you also in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.